Warning: what you are about to hear goes against traditional romantic counsel expressed by friends, family, and Instagram memes and quotes. Open-mindedness is advised.
Ready, 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 ready again. Make them come, ready for them. So make them come, alright yo. Make them come, we ready for them. Make them come, we ready again.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. And welcome to another edition of The Senate. I am your host, Neil Hoyt. He is your other host, Derek Marshall. And together, we make up The Senate podcast. What is The Senate podcast? I feel a need to make sure we go into this step by step. But first things first. Don't let me get ahead of myself. Derek, my brother, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
What's going on?
What's the story? What's the vibe? What's the?
I'm here. I'm well. I'm good. I'm great. Just left the studio. I've been like under an hour ago, scrambling, get ready for tonight's show. And I'm here. Left you guys doing some tracking. Beta was in the studio when I left. Tony was getting ready to do his thing. So yeah, man.
But you know, on the back of that though, just as you're speaking of G-Syndicate and about the new music and everything like that and it works, just remind everybody where they can find G-Syndicate or any upcoming music or anything like that.
Yes, you can find us at gsyndicate6.com. You can find us here on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter as well at gsyndicate6. Also, you can check out the CD Baby. You can find our music on Spotify, etc. Yeah, all those different platforms where music is there. You can check us out. And yeah, man, I hear.
All right. I am well
Talk
up
to me.
until this morning when I decided to read the comments on the Facebook post you would have posted on Tuesday. And it has me now in a space where after some conversation, some people would have private messaged us, DM'd us and stuff like that, men and women. Some in agreement, some in disagreement. But I feel it necessary. No, I let everybody know tonight what the plan was coming into this week was we were going to bring Rommel Miller to speak about that post that was on the Chase Files, talk about the accountability women have in pregnancy and in certain areas of having multiple children from multiple fathers. And then tonight, we were going to tackle Nick Cannon and the men that have multiple children from multiple women. We were going to make it as unbiased as possible. Even keel down the middle. We was going to lambaste the men tonight. But you know what? Derek and I had a call to audible. I don't know if anybody sports fans are here, but that's a American football analogy. We had to call an audible, meaning that we had to change the plan. What did we change it to? We are going to address what I feel is necessary for this podcast, for the future of this podcast, for the future of this discussion, for the future of everything going forward. I feel it, and Derek and I feel that it is incumbent upon us to really and truly get to the bottom of some things here and set the record straight on some things. Because Derek know me for decades. And I know Derek would know I do not like nobody saying about me that is not true. I don't like anybody implying anything about me that is not true. I don't like it. If you want to call me tall, that is a fact. If you want to call me hairy, that is a fact. What I will not tolerate is people impugning my character for some narrative or some, I don't know, likes or I don't care. Point is, I ain't for it. I ain't with it. There is a man that will ignore and keep it pushing. But even tonight, he is upset. Right? Now, what is this all about? As I said, and we can start from the beginning there. We can break it down like a fraction here for them. Right? On last week, the Chase Files, run by Stephanie Chase, put up an article on their Facebook, or a post on their Facebook, talking about an article that Rommel Miller wrote, right? I'm going to put that on screen. And we're going to read through, because we did not get a chance to read through the entire post on this podcast on Tuesday, and last week we started, but we got, caught up in tangents and rants and comments and everything like that. But we dealing with this here tonight. So, Derek, I'm going to put this on screen now. And if you can, again, make sure that I have it ready. If you can, I want you to read it in its entirety. I am not going to in any way change up anything. I'm not going to cut away. We are going to deal with this here in its entirety right now, right? Now, I'm going to put it on the screen now, right? And we're on screen. So when it comes up, you can read, and I will scroll to suit. And then when we're done, we will go. So you could, whenever you're ready.
All right, we got it on screen. Here we go. The following is written by my colleague, Rommel Miller. As a matter of fact, I can skip the intro, right? Here we go. Assets and liabilities. Women, how many of you with sons would approve of your son coming home one day and saying, "Mommy, I found a woman with 4 kids from 4 different men and was never married to any of them, but I am going to marry her"? How many of you want that deal for your son? If not, why? Now you understand how a lot of us men view some of you who keep devaluing yourselves like this. Well, if none of the 4 children fathers thought you fit for marriage, why should my son be the jackass among that illustrious group of men who laid with you? A woman's assets need to outweigh her liabilities for a man to jump at that deal and snap her up. Your youth is an asset, your body is an asset, your womb is an asset. Why are you giving them away for practically nothing? Stop turning your assets into liabilities by having multiple children from multiple different men without the coverage of marriage. So, for you women who are young and think you have the perfect body, and all the men are running after you, telling you how good you look, and all that attention has given you a swollen head, I want you to know that your youth, your body, and your womb all have a shelf life and expiry date. You need to get some serious commitment from a man now if he wants all those things from you. It is my opinion that a lot of women are unmarried in Barbados because you have given us men easy access to sex. So why would we marry you? What many young men wish for, access to sex without too many complications or commitment, carries the day in Barbados. If Bajan women were more fully in charge of how their relationships transpired, we'd be seeing, on average, more impressive wooing efforts, longer relationships, fewer premarital sexual partners, shorter cohabitations, fewer women with multiple child fathers, and more marrying going on. I am not saying that you should marry for sex, but I am saying that you shouldn't allow a man to sample your goods for years without buying anything off your shelf. Give him a sample if you want, but make sure he places an order after sampling or move on. Treat your body like a movie trailer. Exhibit snippets of the best of you, but if he wants to get inside to sample the whole hog, he better buy a ticket. Stop exchanging your precious diamonds, youth, pearls, body, and emeralds, womb, for a shopping trip to Miami, rent and light money, and a few dinners here and there in exchange for figs, bananas, and plantains. It is not a fair exchange.
Good. Thank you very much, Derek. So that was posted last week. Clearly, a lot of people had issues with what he said. So Derek and I, Derek reached out to Rommel because we thought that, one, while we may not necessarily agree with the way he is bringing over certain things, we do agree with the salient points because we believe whom the cap fits, let them wear it. Do we think that all women in Barbados are giving up the fronts to take trips to Miami and take shopping and all of this here? No. But there are a subset of women. There is a subset of women that fall into the category that he describes. Fine. Now, we agreed in part with what he was saying. We said that, well, he can land base, so let's bring him on. We had a conversation with him behind the scenes, and we share a lot of similar thoughts and everything like that, right? So we said, for a number of reasons, one being to give his side of the story, to clarify the vitriol that he was, to confront the vitriol that he was getting in the comment section of that post, as well as to kind of to have him speak from a man that has varied experiences, and to highlight that while we may not necessarily say the same things in the same manner, we do have an underlying theme in our thought process as it pertains to men and women dynamic and the disconnect in Barbados and the wider world, and especially in the Black community. And yeah, we decided to give him this platform. We knew that obviously it was going to be entertaining. We knew it was going to get a lot of views, a lot of talk. But the most important thing we wanted was for people to understand, one, that he's an older man with varied experiences that we have no idea anything about him. And he has said things that we've said on this podcast before. This space, which is a space for us to speak up from a man's perspective as we see it, and to bridge the disconnect between men and women. So we brought on Ramel Miller. And Ramel being Ramel is a person that's very passionate. He does not pull any punches. You can tell he is a man that does not feel any need to coddle anyone, nor does he feel any need to sweet up nothing for nobody. He said some things that, well, again, Derek and I were messaging in our WhatsApp chat while he was speaking. It was like, whoa, this is a little rough. And I even tried my best to kind of say, well, Ramel, you know, you're calling women cars. You know, you're talking about hit dogs as holler. Like, you gotta be careful. You can't say these things, right? And, you know, it was explained that while, yes, a car is a thing, there is a value to a woman, whether we as men place it upon them, whether a woman place it upon herself, or whether society place it upon her, or whether humanity as a species place it upon her, right? There is a value. Whether you choose to say it or not say it or whatever, there is value in a woman and her reproductive system. Yeah? No. The hit dog comment, we get on like we don't understand Bajanisms and colloquialisms and proverbs. A hit dog this holler is a Bajan saying. Man, I call it women dogs. I even made sure to clarify that in the moment. Anyhow, so we brought on Ramel. Ramel did his thing. We talked, we spoke. I challenged him. He said something about, he brought some data where he was saying he doesn't have the data in front of him, but he believes, and he went on to say something within the correlation of women and reproduction and single fathers and single mothers and everything like that. And they said, on this show, we bring data. We don't just spitball. That's your opinion. And he did clarify it was his opinion. Fair. Now, that post, Ramel spoke from his opinion. We agree with some of the points, hence why he was on the show. I'm going to read you, and I am pissed, people, because I'm going to read you some of the comments that came from the original post and then from the podcast we did. This is before we did the podcast. A gentleman, a man in our comment section, he had this to say. I'm not going to read everything he said, but I'm going to read excerpts from what he said, and to show you how disingenuous and upsetting this is, especially for two men that trying their best to get something positive out of this, right? This is I remind you, this is to the post from the Chase Files, the original post, the catalyst for all of this. Let me get this right. So the victim is at fault? Yes, certain behavior and actions of persons can make them more susceptible to being a victim. Yes, there are persons who don't take responsibility and are perpetual victims. This again, almost the same as RAPE shaming. Now, I ask myself, how did this get to be a shaming of that word, sexual abuse, sexual assault? How we get there? And I understood it. I understood that Ramel spoke from a place of, it can seem, it is implied, one can discern that women are fully and wholly responsible for the situations they're in when they have multiple children from multiple fathers, right? That is squarely on the woman from beginning to end. And him saying what he said is essentially blaming the women for being in those situations, having multiple fathers from multiple children and all that there, right? But I still thought at some point, though, you have to be responsible for your actions. Like, to liken this to sexual assault is, to me, asinine. Because you are essentially stirring the pot by using that term in a situation where you and a man consensually lie down together. You all have you have, as a woman, whomever this fits, let the cap fit, let them wear it. You lie down with one man, you had a child. The man could tell you he love you and will give you the world. Because we can get to the men and how them just deal with things, right? See, that was the whole plan. Woman lie down with a man, get a child, I love you, I will be there for you, I will never leave you. Man goes along and left you with a child. Okay. You have a second child, you say, you get over that, you say, all right, I can try to get on the road again. The man say, you know what, I can love you and I can take care of you. Y'all have a second child. Man goes along. Now you have two children from two different fathers that are absent. Let's not talk about the psychological damage that does to you as a mother, as a woman, sorry. But let's think about the lack of stability that these children now have. Okay. You meet another man and you realize you feeling this man on a level. And, you have no problem in sleeping with him. Don't you think it is incumbent upon you to at least recommend to the man, like, look, here, Joe, right? I know you want to have unprotected sex with me, and I know you say you love me, and I know you say you want this, that, next, but the truth is, one bitten, twice shy, I get lick up already. We need to take this a certain sort of level. We need to be slow. Right? All right. You do that. Condom break. You all decide to have the child, the man lie to you, whatever. You now have 3 children from 3 different fathers. At which point are you going to take accountability for your circumstance? You are not a victim. This person, this man that mentioned in the comment used the word victim several times in the opening paragraphs of his comment. And it upset me because there's no victim here. There's no victim. We said we are not speaking about the extreme. We are not meaning the sexual assault. We're not talking about, where men do disgusting things. We're talking about man lie down with you lie down with the man, to want to look him in the eyes, want to say I love you, I want to have sex. Whether protected or unprotected. So to me, this man talking about the sexual assault, shaming and all that there, that is disingenuous, because what he is doing is likening that post and then our beliefs within that post and saying, well, we condoning that sort of behavior. We condoning the shaming of victims. I am not standing for it because I do not condone that. Anybody that knows me, shoot, you don't even know me. And you only know me in passing, know that I am not that kind of man. So I am not going to sit here and have somebody get in the comment section first off the bat say that it is akin to sexual assault shaming. I'm not doing it. Now he can continue. He goes on to say, why is the responsibility of chastity and being selective only falling on the woman? Nobody said I was only falling on the woman. Nobody said that the being selective and the chastity falls solely and squarely on a woman. In no way in that post did I read that the sole responsibility for being selected and for the chastity falls on a woman. I read that post several times because I felt like I failed English language or comprehension or saying, right? I read it and I read it and I read it, and nowhere did I see that. So that too is a disingenuous statement. He goes on, why are we not teaching men about valuing their bodies and self-control? That is what society has done. Society for the last 10 years, I ain't even going back far, for the last 10 years, society is holding men accountable. Shoot, in the last 5 years, we have seen men be held accountable for how they treat women. The disgusting and abhorrent behaviors that people do, men do toward women. The power, the sexual assault. Society is holding us accountable, and we, on this podcast, are holding the men accountable to it. Several times we have said, even in that same podcast on Tuesday, right? When a man can't be dropping children like when his dogs dropping puppies, though. When they can't be having sex here, there, and everywhere, though. Ramel himself said men does lie. He even admitted that he may tell a lie or two back in the day to a woman. So we hold the men accountable on this show. We have done it and we will continue to do it. Right? So to come and say that we need, why we not teaching men this and that and the next, we trying though. Society might not be doing it wholesale, but we doing it. You understand? So I will not sit here and act as though why we not teaching men to value this or that. Like we here just kicking and ha-ha and pelting rocks at women and saying, look at your troubles, look at your situation, this is all your fault. We don't do that on this show. And for anybody to come that has been a part of this show from day one and watch every word coming out of our mouths can say that we don't do it, that we don't hold men accountable, I will tell you, you are a liar to your face. No, you went on and you said, you are a steward of your seed. Manage it well. Is it that we prefer it this way because we can have our cake and eat it too? Have sex with as many women as we want, marry the chaste church girl, and then write off the previous ones as whores? Do we not see the hypocrisy in this? No, this is not the whole comment. Y'all could go on the same Facebook and read it. Listen to me, brother. I know who you are and I ain't call your name because I ain't that kind of man. But let me tell you something, see? You can say what you want, right? Yes, we are responsible for our seed. Many times on this space, we have said that, a man does provide the seed and a woman does nurture it. The woman carries it. The woman grows it. The woman gives of her body, her emotion, her mental well-being to carry our child. Yeah? Good. We have said that we men need to do better. We have said that men need to stop with the double standard. Shoot, in the very second episode we had, Derek talked about the double standard in the society that is skewed in some part toward men and women. In that body count don't matter for men, but it matters for women. We've talked about this and we have called it out. So that whole sentence there, so ain't gonna work with me. Ain't gonna work with me. Because I am tired of this. I am tired of always having to defend what we are doing here. And for people to come and say what they like to say. Another person came in response to that man. Congratulations, exactly, I agree, and this and that next. Put it all on women. How about men be more discerning and step up to be fathers? We have said in this space, right, that women are responsible for sex. Women are responsible for the access to their bodies. We are constantly bombarded and told that women have agency of their own body. Men have no place to talk about a woman's body in any shape, form, or fashion. What they do and decide to do with their bodies is their business. So then, where are we putting this all on women? Where are we saying that men, we have said it. Oh my God, we have said that men need to stop looking at the outward appearance and stop looking for the quick, easy sex and everything like that and ending up with women that they know they will not carry home to mother though. We always say these things. So it's not to say that post was putting it all on women. The man made a post about women. It's like y'all wanted the man to make a post about women and then men. But that excerpt was taken from a man in a snapshot of a moment. All right, we can keep going. There is the tendency to act as if women are solely responsible because it is their bodies and assume that it is their decision to keep said child. I can read that again. There is a tendency to act as if women are solely responsible because it is their bodies and assumed that it is their decision to keep said child. No, I don't know what I want. When I want agency of women on one parts, right? And men ain't to talk about if one is to abort or if to keep or nothing like that. The decision is your own, right? But here I can read in the comment section of a post that we put up, there is the tendency to act as if women are solely responsible, but that's from a woman. So where is the responsibility solely on woman? Or on the man or woman, or the men ain't to speak at all? Because watch, right? If it is not solely the responsibility of the woman, right? And it is a shared thing, especially in consensual situations, right? Then if the man said, well, you need to get abortion because you don't want your child. You know what y'all would tell me? That is ultimately the woman's decision. It is ultimately the woman's decision. So I am confused. I am confused here. I know a woman, another person goes on, I know a woman who used protection on 2 occasions and was completely unaware she was pregnant until well past the time on both occasions. What then? She goes on to say, there are also women who think these relationships are going somewhere and are literally lied to and tricked. The anecdotal. Condoms break. Birth control fails. You still have decisions to make at some point. Man and woman. But ultimately, it is on the woman to make that call. Because why? It is her body. If I have sex with a woman and the condom breaks and the birth control fails, and she comes to me 6 weeks later, 2 months later, and says she is pregnant, you know what I gotta do? I gotta answer, okay, how do you feel about this and what would you like to do? Because for me to come and say, well, you need to get rid of that here, I wrong anywhere in the world. So to say that this is the anecdotal, 2 women on occasions, it was well aware she could still have an abortion. She could have still made that decision. She still could have made the decision to put the child up for adoption. She could have made those decisions with or without the man, though. Yes, men lie and men trick. Shoot, women lie and women trick, but you know what? Men just do it to get the access to sex. Guilty as charged. We have condemned that on this channel. We have condemned that on this page. We condemned it up to Tuesday. I am not saying somebody else goes on. I'm not saying that men are solely to blame or women. I am saying that life is not black and white. And that is what we have said. We have always said that you are responsible for your decisions. You have to suffer the consequences of your decisions as an adult. Your decisions. And I ain't saying men or women, I'm saying your. So if you're reading this, if you're watching this, if you're listening to my voice, and you identify as man, woman, beast, dog, cat, whatever, you are responsible for your decisions. You are responsible for the consequences of your decisions and actions. It is not that I don't agree with everything he said, somebody goes on. There was truth to some things, but it seems as if there was this silent argument. Sorry. Let me read again. I forgot. This is after the podcast. They're talking about the podcast and they're talking. It's not that I don't agree with everything that was said on Tuesday. I'm paraphrasing. There was truth to some things, but it seemed as if there was this silent agreement to ignore the things he said that were offensive and just erroneous. A couple people did try, male and female, but I'm not sure if people were shocked to silence or if they just agreed. Again, on Tuesday, when Ramel started talking about a car and a woman, I said, well, you can't say that. When the man talk about a hit dog, just holler, I said, well, Ramel, you can't say that. And we explained both analogies. When the man came with from the top of his head, I feel that the majority of women in Barbados, I said, well, you can't go up on a feeling, you gotta bring that. We bring data on this show. But yet still, we were shocked into silence, or we either agreed with everything that man said on Tuesday. He was extremely offensive, somebody goes on. It was like a boys' club in there with the jeering and laughing about foolish women. The answer to feeling marginalized is never to marginalize the other side and then justify it by saying we were marginalized far too long, so therefore they should take what they get. This wasn't the dialogue I expected at all. We will never get to the bottom of the reason for the divide if the dialogue includes calling the other stupid and ignorant and other like us sit back and allow it and laugh. He remained unchallenged for the most part, and it was painful. A boys' club. That man said that the women that do certain things are jackasses and stupid. Darren and I don't agree with calling people jackass and stupid, but that is his way of talking. That is his way of going about things. Right? We thought that by now y'all will understand that man just talking about certain things. He's just bringing over things very raw and very unfiltered, but Daniel and Derek style. However, let him man get his piece out. because the salient point is more important than how it is delivered. Right? So we thought that everybody was on the same page, but no, apparently we sat back in the old boys club, kiki and laughing, throwing stones at women as somebody, I can touch that, right? And then all of a sudden, no, we looking like we thought that the reason of this was get to the bottom of the divide, but it don't seem to be that or whatever, not calling people stupid or whatever. Every week we come out here to try to get to the bottom of the divide. Every week we try to get some solutions. Every week we welcome the challenges. Every week we put our business here on Facebook and YouTube. Personal business we put out here to show you how we may think and how we feel and how things have gone awry in society. We thought 1 week that how we can change society, it ain't gonna be on us only, it ain't gonna be on ours. It may take hundreds of years for there to be some semblance of coming back together and mending the divide. You understand? But no, we want to see a fix tonight. So my man thought Tuesday, oh God, these men ain't with the boat. This forum didn't allow somebody goes on for him to be challenged. When I asked if his children are from one person, I was chided and asked what it had to do with the discussion. I was genuinely curious, to be honest, but what was obvious is that he lived his life in his younger days. You know what? I can talk Ramel business straight. If Ramel got a problem, tell him come and see Neil Hoy. Ramel has 4 children from 2 different women in marriages. The first one did not work. He has a child and he was married, had the child under marriage. And then the second one, he has 3 children from another marriage. He did his thing as a man under the umbrella of marriage. The man married before he carried. So when he spoke, he was not speaking out of he behind. He ain't dropping children left, right, and center. So now you want to know how many children he has. Why do you want to know how much? What relevance does it have to the? Sorry, not what relevance. Forgive me, because there is relevance. What I want to know was what was the objective of answering that question? What was the desired? What were you trying to get? Were you trying to get that, oh, he got enough children from enough women, so he just as bad? Were you trying to test him to see if his message was invalid because he has done the things he's now calling out? Even if he had 10 children from 9 women, right? And he is coming and telling you women need to do X, Y, and Z. And then also in the same podcast talk that men are to blame, and we can talk about it another time, does not mean or negate his experiences because he is speaking from the front lines, a front row seat of living that life, and can tell you from a man's perspective how it is not good for the women and it's not good for the men. All right, we going on. There, I sorry boy, but I tell you already, I come. I am not sure how fixing it for future generations include a full session of how dumb women who have children for multiple men are and how I am not sure how fixing it for the future generations include a full session on how dumb women who have children for multiple men are and how it is all their fault because they are the vessels and the men could do better, but it really is their own fault for being so ignorant in the first place, but maybe I have the wrong approach. A full stone throwing fest. But again, it is understandable, as the guest said, because women have done it in the past, so it's the men's turn now. Again, you're missing the point. The man answer every woman that had children dumb. The man spoke in generalities, right? Generalizations. And we have said every week for the past, must see 3 months, whom the cat fit, let it weary. Or, to put it as Ramel said, a hit dog and holler. What I don't understand is how people in the comment section of this very podcast who commented on Tuesday that are married and have children and had children under marriage were the most vocal to say, well, this man here, how he's saying women dumb this and that next deferred. Was the man harsh? Yes. Did the man cuddle? No. But at the end of the day, you are doing yourself a disservice, men and women, when you have multiple children from multiple partners. There is no stability for the child. There's no stability for you as a man. There's no stability for you as a woman. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be financially taxing. It's going to be emotionally taxing. So what benefit of it is? You wanted us to say dumb men too? Yes, men dumb. They got a man that we know that got 4 children from 4 different women that every time we get together live in the Senate and talk, and the man there come up, he's calling man a dog, he's calling man an idiot. But we got to somehow quantify everything as, but men too. When I don't give you a chance to get to the next episode, when I don't give you a chance to listen to before, When us sticking up on one phrase, the man sit down women and women is jackasses. Oh God, Jesus. Look how we blaming it all on the women. I don't understand how we intelligent. Because y'all are intelligent. That's the part frustrating me. I thought idiots. I am not speaking to people that are not intelligent. I went to school with most of y'all, and who I don't know from school, I know from interacting with in society, and y'all are not stupid. What I don't get is how we get to a point where we have to preface everything and we have to label everything as in a man and woman situation. I can go on. I was pretty disappointed in the show as well. Past sessions have felt like an effort to try to mend understanding between men and women, and I find a way for us to heal our issues. That session just felt like a stone throwing session, jeering at women who made their decisions to have multiple children without truly understanding why they do what seems so presumably stupid. I saw a lot of token sympathy followed by a dismissal of the understanding. Ranking Beijing women as less than because they pursue a career rather than have their full focus on pursuing a husband and then having no one to blame but themselves when the uneducated women who made this their focus snag all the high quality men. Felt like women can only want and pursue one thing and can't have both. Choose pursuing that career or having a good man. Can't have both, and sucks to be you if you spent your time in your younger years pursuing a career like there ain't plenty career women that have both. A lot of the truth that came up in the show for me personally was overshadowed. Hold on a minute, I got shrink at the screen. Sorry. Well, let me see. Where was I? To hell with it. I can just move around things. Excuse me a second. For me personally, was overshadowed by the tone that they think makes no difference by dropping a truth with empathy is much different to dropping a truth callously and with jeering. I saw no solutions, no healing, none of what I came to enjoy so much about this. So hope this isn't the new direction. No. You didn't see any solutions? You didn't see any solutions. There was nothing absolutely. We just pelt rocks. We just kiki. These women stupid. No matter Romel said that he all for marriage. No matter we said that you gotta do what's best for you as an individual. Right? If that includes whatever you decide. We have said multiple times on this show, if you decide to choose and prioritize your career, there's nothing wrong with that. Y'all have fought very hard to have equality in the workspace and in education. No one is telling you not to go and get your degrees. No one is telling you to go and get your education. No one is telling you to do nothing else. And nobody is telling you to stop in the kitchen and cook and bend over whenever the man come home and say you want some. Nobody is saying that. But what we are saying is if you choose that path and then get vexed at society or men because when you are 40, 50, 60, having all of your degrees and all of your paper and all of your whatever, and you know scrambling to try to get children, and you putting pressure on us men to say, I want a child by 40. I want to be married by 41. I just don't understand. We are not saying not to go and pursue your life. Go and live your life how you want. Sure, if you want to have 10 children from 10 different men, live your life. But what we are saying is do not do these things that don't have the desired result for you. You are stressed, alone, angry, upset, and in need of healing. And instead of seeking that healing and seeking that therapy, you get vexed at us because we're telling you, as an adult, you are responsible for the consequences of your actions. What I don't understand, I have had a woman in her 60s talk to me with tears in her eye, with regret, having divorced a man back when she was at the height of her career, when she was pursuing her career. A woman that wishes that she had a boyfriend right now that was doting and caring and loving. This woman is now retired. But when we talk, right, we coming over as misogynistic. And we ain't wanting a healing. And we ain't wanting the solutions. The solution, there are several solutions for a situation where you have had 3 children from 3 different fathers and you are now pregnant again. There are several solutions. Talk to the man. What do the man want? Do you agree with what the man want? Is that what you want for your body? It still comes back to you. We are not putting it all on you. We are not putting it all on women. But at some point, y'all have to hold some level of accountability for certain things, though. It can be our fault as men. It can be society's fault as this. It can be that body as that. When is it going to be your fault, your accountability for things? Why somebody put somewhere or something like that, Gregory Ferguson, he put in the chat an article, 100% of unwanted pregnancies are on men. 100% of unwanted pregnancies are on men. I read part of that article, couldn't read all. The person, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, the person said that the man provides the seed. The man chooses to ejaculate in a woman. Therefore, any unwanted pregnancy is at the result of the man's desire. In 2020, whatever it is, 2018, the article was written, that was written.
Clear is saying that it was her that posted the article, not Greg.
Oh,
Fergie responded to it, but it was clear.
Apologies. But regardless, the article was posted. I don't see how in 2018 going forward that 100%, you know, it's an unwanted pregnancy. Me and a woman have sex. The woman come 2 months later and say, I'm pregnant. Well, we ain't plan for this. Well, we didn't want this. This wasn't what this relationship was supposed to be, or we not prepared for that. This is an unwanted pregnancy. I did not sexually assault this woman. We both consensually laid down and we both decided to have sex, whether protected or unprotected. The result of doing big boy and big girl things is that you get consequences that are akin to big boy and big girl. So when you get pregnant and you don't want the pregnancy, who fault that is? You gonna tell me that's 100% on men? 100% though? Not 90? Not 75? 100? The tone was definitely off. Somebody goes on. The tone was where am I? The tone was definitely off, and it has nothing to do with dismissing truths. Truths can be dispensed without the gloating, condescending, and outright disrespect. Some of these women with 4 different fathers are sisters, cousins, friends, neighbors. Each of us know at least one of these kinds of women or know of one. If we are to change the narrative, we need to begin with respect. Even if we don't understand, the path to understand is empathy for all, both men and women. Now, I know a woman that has 5 children from 4 different fathers. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 fathers. Regardless, she has multiple children from more than 2 fathers, right? Her own family members, men and women, want to know how this woman don't take little responsibility. She don't know about condoms. She don't know this. She don't know that. Nobody ain't blaming the men, you know, in this situation. No, every time they bring it up, I say, well, Kadir, man, you know, she ain't like them with herself, and, you know, part of it is on the men, and this and that, and the next and the third. Man, no, man, she could do this and do that. They got these options to do this and do that, and the next, she knows she got these 3 children, she knows she got these 4 children, and she bringing another child into the world, and she don't really got the steady job, nor nothing like that. And these men, like, they ain't a good for she, nor nothing like that. What I feel that we just come here to talk? You feel that we ain't got a game plan here? You feel that we just had bad experiences and decided to come and piss all over the internet? That's what I feel. 100% agree, somebody goes on. And those that think tone doesn't matter, let their boss talk to them that way and see how different the narrative is. Who you think he's talking to, even if what the boss said or asked you to do is legitimate? Tone matters, respect matters. There is a teacher. I know several teachers. I know several people that work in the workforce. Several of them. I have a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, right? The man works on a relatively good job. His boss speaks to him in some manner very derogatory. He bites his tongue because he feels this man can't talk to me so, but he needs a job. I tell him, man, but if that was me, I would tell you, like, go on. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Now, there's a difference between talking to someone in a derogatory and disrespectful manner just to get them to work, to do what you want to do, versus talking to somebody in a manner that is tough love. We all have given tough love before. We've spoken soft, we've chosen our words, we've been politically correct. We have spoken in hushed tones. We have tried our best to see both sides of the argument and include men in a lot of discussions. We have tried our best to tiptoe and dance and cuddle and everything like that, right? But when it comes to us, man, then a cuddling, we used to get rough, raw, wriggling, right? We played video after video after video after video after video where talk show hosts made their dollar by talking about men as if they're disposable.
In mainstream media.
In mainstream media, right? And if a man, even on Facebook, whispers something derogatory about a woman, the one man cancel, right? We have taught soft, we have taught hard. We have watched ourselves be taught hard to and soft. And now even hard or soft, we starting to realize with you, these women let it go a point here. We can't really go about treating these women how we want. We can't go about dropping children as we like. We can't go around lying to women. We can't go around doing the things we do as men. That is what is starting to happen in this community. Whether you all want to say it or not, it is happening. Yeah? Because social media has made it easy to call out people that do stupid and ignorant things. So we have taught soft. We have held your hand. We have tried to shoot. In some circumstances, we have simped. We have, we've cried with you. We've taught you easy. We have tried our best. In this forum, we have tried our best. We didn't cry. We didn't hold your hand or anything, but we have danced around words. The other week, people laugh at me and say, well, Neil, like, you want to go out with a girl that walk away. Neil, like, he dancing around calling a woman obese or calling a woman in yellow ugly. But now, we gotta watch our tone. Why? Because it's hitting a little close to home. We need to get over ourselves, boys and girls. We need to get over ourselves and realize that the problem is not the message that is coming to us from different directions, but how it's being delivered. That's what's triggering us. And we need to get past that, though, because we are adults. We are adults doing adult things. And adulting every day, paying our taxes, buying groceries, taking care of our business. So when it comes to man and woman, you have to take accountability for your business. I take accountability for my business. Derek takes accountability for his business. Not a lot of men take accountability for their business, but you know what? We're working on it. And that's what this podcast is for, to be the best version of you for you. We say at the end of every episode, we want everyone to be the best version of them for them. Because if you're the best version for you, you will find that you will have a lot more success in life. Not only dating, but in life. Because you are doing what is best for you. But no, we got to come to this. We got to come to a man is 100% responsible for unwanted pregnancies. We got to come to it is an old boys club. And we left the man unchecked to talk as he like and laugh and jeer kiki. We throwing rocks and all sorts of things. I am tired of it. Because at the end of the day, right? Regardless of how we said this on this podcast too, no matter how we deliver the message, right? Whether we soft, PC, we come raw, rugged, and ready, we will always be called misogynistic. We will always be looked at side-eye. People can tune in for 10 minutes and tune out, right? Because them then like what happened in them 10 minutes. I was actually in a good space how that podcast ended on Tuesday, because at the end of the day, Romel has some very insightful things to say. The man is about family. The man is about marriage. Now, I know a lot of people.
That's the odd thing, Neil.
Yeah.
I actually went to the gym this evening, not to cross your rant, but I went to the gym this evening. In talking to my trainer, he was watching the podcast. He said he actually, well, the man was direct. He found that he says the same thing we say on Tuesday and Thursdays. And if you really analyze it, this man, I actually am rougher than Romel is. Because Romel pushing marriage. You know how I feel about that. That my thing. You know what I mean? And Romel is all for that marriage, family unit, and all that stuff. And I get it. I appreciate his perspective, but that's not for me. I will say I see we got a little bit of mudslinging going on in the chat. Let me just cut that out. As adults, guys, we don't think we need to do that. But Kwame came in the chat. Kwame said adults can't walk around being triggered by tone. Your objectives in life must outweigh somebody else's choice of words. Come on. Nobody can offset my future because they talk rough. Nah. And Tonya responds, and Tonya says, if the idea is to heal, then it matters.
But hold
I
up.
don't think that is the case, because I come here every Tuesday and Thursday, and I like to think that I'm rather eloquent. And my use of the English language is, you know, fairly decent. And I speak nicely, and you don't get it. Neil speaks nicely, you don't get it. Ramel, come and talk rough.
Wouldn't they get it?
And you didn't get it. So I'm starting to think that we don't want to get it. It matters not how the message is delivered. That's what I'm starting to pick up, right?
Wait, before you continue, Derek,
Yeah, man.
you talk about the healing, right? The healing. That's not our job. We are not professionals. We can point you in the right direction as some things that need to be addressed. We can start the healing process alone and come together in a space of healing. Right? People can go and tell people about this space and say, you know what? Them boys might be rough around the edges, but call we liars. Call us liars. Call us liars.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? Call me a liar.
That is my challenge to the people in the
Call me a
chat right
liar.
now.
Did we lie about anything here? Since we started this podcast.
Did Ramel? Has Ramel told any lies in this particular chat? Right? No, we're not expecting the podcast to heal anybody, but we tell you all the time. We just give you the rules so you know what's going on and you can understand. Because the reality is, as we said it last week, Ramel brought it back with his article on Tuesday. Tell your friend, if she can, as Neil said it earlier, if she wants to have 10 children with 10 men, that's all on her. Do you, boo-boo. But don't expect that you can then turn around on the flip side and get the kind of man that you expect to be decent, upstanding, and all that to come and make a wife out of you if that is what you want at the end of the day, right? Jennifer is saying Ramel was direct and straight up, and yeah, he ain't using the big law, polysyllabic words and all that like that. Ramel talk straight, and that is generally how men talk, straight. This is it, right? And I don't know why there is this need to feel like somebody that you want to be coddled, or you need to be told what we come here and we deliver the message nicely. I deliver a message nicely when we were talking, I think it was about body count and stuff like that. We talk about body count, we delivered it nicely. They try to gaslight me and tell me that I'm going crazy. So I came back again the next night. I was a little bit more rough. Shoot. It's still not really hitting home. Ramel come and talk direct. Let me pause. Every week we talk about being the best version of yourself. Every week, Tuesday and Thursday. Be the best version of you for you, not me, not for me, not nobody else. For you. If you think that you're being the best version of you is for children, for me, that's cool. Do you boo-boo again. But a man like me, I ain't taking up that job work. I don't think me taking up that job work. You know what I mean? And it speaks to and here's the thing, Tanya, because Tanya is saying no one ever said that they didn't understand where you guys are coming from. I specifically did not care for Ramel's approach. But then it turns into all kinds of saying we threw stones at the ladies for 2 hours.
You getting far,
and all
you getting
kind of
far,
things.
right? Because hold on a minute. I don't want to cross you, but just give me this 2 seconds here, right? You say no one ever said that they don't understand where you guys are coming from? No, Antonio, you mean you have never said you don't know where we are coming from. We have been told that they don't understand where we're coming from. They don't like the things that we've said. We've been called sexist, misogynistic. We can show you the DMs. We can show you the emails. People say the reason why we know about the chase file is because a woman tagged Derek specifically for that.
Yep.
Not because they wanted us to talk about it or whatever. So not you, Tonya, but people out there don't understand where we're coming from. And they ain't care for our approach. And the damn sure if they ain't care about our approach, but they ain't care for Romel's approach. So where we are now. Sorry, Derek, continue.
Well, to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, I don't think they care for what we were saying, and that kind of hit me today. I think that that's a real crux of the matter. You touched on it earlier. I think people just want to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Let me live my life. Let me do what I want to do. No repercussions. I could, do my thing. I got agency of my parts. As you do you. It's no fuss up, no contention. I had a little bit. Let me read this comment because I think it's important to read this from Lee Williams. Welcome, Lee. Lee says, "Good night. Your last show was my second time watching the show. Honestly, as a female, I agree with most of what was shared by your guest. What I gathered from his submission was 1, a need for females to be more mindful of the partners they choose. 2, he called for women to pursue more stable relationships, whether married or committed. He was promoting family. 3, he also spoke of the consequences of single-parent homes. Those were my takeaways. I agree. Tone, language, choice, and delivery are part and parcel of a message. We can't ignore that, hence why many are offended. However, I choose to take away the points that were relevant. Guys, keep up the good work. Understand that you can't please everyone. Everyone has a right to be offended. Blessings." Thank you so much, Lee, for that contribution. Welcome. I hope you continue to watch. It seems like if Tuesday scared off a couple people, but we're glad to have you in the Senate with us going forward, right? Again, Ramel is here. Shout out, Ramel is in the chat. Ramel says, "Guys, it was a conversation for grown-ups on Tuesday. Apparently, some children listened in and were offended by my tone and use of language. Please tell the children to go back to bed. The truth doesn't require you to agree with it."
No, Ramel. Ramel. No, we appreciate and we understand what you're saying, but you know what? Don't let me get into the mudslinging by calling children. Don't let me get facetious or anything like that. What I will say is that yes, some people were triggered on Tuesday. A lot of people were triggered and are upset. And the joke about it is, for as many people that were upset, there were many people telling us that it was the best show we've ever had. And what we spoke about was nice. Women have said that even though Ramel was rough to all, they saw most of his points. So, well, Ramel, I would not necessarily get into the whole children and the whole, being sarcastic, everything. That I will simply say that at the end of the day, we have a warning. We have a warning before every show. Shout out Jadon. Open-mindedness is advised. We don't mind y'all disagreeing, This is the joke. We don't mind y'all disagreeing. We don't mind the pushback and the challenge. But we want you to come and tell us where, okay, it was rough. Granted, Ramel rough on the edges. You man blast women. Is Ramel wrong for saying, is Ramel wrong for saying that people need to be held accountable for their actions? Or rather, people need to abide by the consequences of their decisions? Is Ramel wrong for that?
And I think he said it on Tuesday. He said, "I am encouraging families, I am promoting families." He was getting the attacks, and he could not seem to understand the disconnect, right? Claire says, "Tuesday scared off a few people. You're having a podcast and you want people to continue inviting their friends to participate in. You have to choose your poison." But here's the thing, Claire. As much as we want people to come into the space, you come into the space, but because you come to the space, are we supposed to be disingenuous?
We have not once been disingenuous on this show. Not once.
Am I supposed, because I am grateful for you guys to be here, I am supposed to say, "Hey, ice cream for breakfast, kids, let's go." You know what I mean? Nah, at some point, we have to be able to take the credit for our decisions, right? If we make good decisions and we get good consequences, then we get the credit for that. If you make bad decisions and you get, Mark will tell you, you play country games and get country prizes, you got to take the credit for that.
We can't please everyone too, Claire. Claire, we can't. We only want as many people to come and listen, and hopefully to take in a little bit of learning that you could glean something from the podcast, and you can apply it to your life, to your various community, whether it be man or woman, and you can say, okay, I understand what the guy's saying. It was a little rough. It was hard to take. It made me, and I've heard this. Some women have come and said, some men have said it caused them to really look at themselves and say, yo, you man might go and point you. And that's all we want. We just want one to stop, pause, and think. You understand?
Yeah. Consider the other side. Consider the other side. Because I had this discussion with somebody today. I don't think that, because I did a lot of thinking today based on some of the comments I saw over the past couple of days, right?
It hurting me.
One guy messaged me. He said, he thinks that we should be nominated for awards, for national awards based on the show Tuesday. A lot of the guys were in my WhatsApp messages on Tuesday night saying, Lord, this man rough, but he ain't telling the lies. Yeah? And Kwame says the Senate should invite, again, some dissenting voices for more debate. Maybe. Here's the thing. We invited some those who are openly opposed to the views that we express here. We've invited them.
What I don't know what's going behind the scenes here. What I don't know.
We have. And we have, trust me, Neil and I have no fear about inviting people to come and talk. You will get your opportunity to talk. Yeah? The floor is open. Come and talk. But I find that a lot of times the approach is you will come in the Facebook comments, you will blast us there. I don't respond in the Facebook comments, even though they're on my page, because that's not the forum for me to talk. I will talk here. Right? You blast us in the Facebook comments. The men that were engaged in the Facebook comments, you try to blast them. I've seen this with my own two eyes. You attack them. And sorry, yeah, I'm right. You attack them. You don't attack their arguments, because the arguments, whether how crudely they are expressed, are grounded in reality.
And grounded in the topic at hand. And it's not personal.
But we go down the line, you go down the line of the shaming language, insulting language, and then you stick out your need to be right. Not this time, Tanya. I see you. Right? So we have invited people.
We have invited people.
Got on the phone and called them. They chose not to come. Sure. Neil posted the link right under the comments.
I didn't do it today because my head was hot. But yeah, generally I post it in the same comment.
They choose not to come. Right? We have no problem inviting those who are dissenting voices, as Kwame called them, to come and talk. Right? We have no problem with that, because your arguments will have to stand up to scrutiny over here. Because we are dealing with emotions and what you feel. And that's the real challenge with Romel's contribution on Tuesday. As much as Romel said what he had to say from a position of love, he ain't known the ladies in the chat. He knows the ladies to whom he's communicating. He feels absolutely no need to coddle anybody. So he pulled no punches. And that is a difficult pill to swallow, I think.
But here's the thing too, Derek.
Ricardo said
the thing too, Derek. Consider, based on what Romel has said, Romel is married, happily married, with 3 children. Now, if a man happily married, man been married twice, man happily married with 3 children, why would he take it upon himself to come and just blast women on social media? The man want something to do. like, I know, I confused. I confused, right? We have said it. Go ahead.
Romel is saying, if you are old enough to make babies, you are old enough to marry. I will always let the first one slide, but the second one and all the others that came after is a choice. I'm willing to debate. And Claire has an issue with that statement. But here's the reality. By the time you are 18 years old, we're not dealing with the outliers. We're not dealing with, forced sexual encounters. We're not dealing with that. We're not dealing with condoms breaking. I am a man. I teach in the ghetto. I've taught in the ghetto for most of my teaching career, right? I teach in the ghetto. I know in the ghetto, I can think of at least three women who have several children in the ghetto, at least three, and that's like off the top of my head, right? And they're living situations. Shoot, they the ghetto. You know what I mean? And I said this when I, as a man, started having sex many moons ago, right? My mother's a woman who put it out there to me. She enforced it with the guys in my crew at the time. Condoms cheaper than Pampers.
My mother wanted to buy condoms for me and show me how to use them. Just to show you what.
Condoms cheaper than Pampers. So from the time you make a decision, you make a decision to go and lie down with somebody. It cannot be, ladies, my body, my choice. And then when you get a result that you are not comfortable with, it becomes all the man's responsibility. Nah. Because we're talking about fairness. We're talking about being the best version of yourself. And I ain't nobody men in this chat, but for me, 4 children from 4 different men ain't gonna work with me. And if my son, I don't have a son, but if I had a son who brought shoot, if Neil's son come home or come up on the court wherever we is together, and he said, yeah, daddy, or Uncle Derek, there's my girl here. Are we looking to get married? And we find out down through the juggling that is a 4-for-4 situation. Now we got to run an intervention. You can't find somebody that, no children, 1 child. You can't. That is a bad situation. And we skirt all around that issue on Tuesday. And then we pop up with this.
But shoot, but there you talk about Reese, right? You talk about Reese, right? If Eden come on and tells you got mad with 4 different child mothers, you ain't dealing with that.
I ain't dealing with that.
Don't let me just put it as if my son.
And here's the thing, right, Neil? Here's the thing. I saw somebody say, if your son came home with a girl like that, what would you say? And the person responded and said, I would advise against it, but at the end it's still
Reese mother can say not that one. Reese mother will say that.
Yeah, and this is the problem. Right? This is where we have come. We talk about the girl code, right? We talk about Ramel called it the sister code. We talk about it all the time here in here. We talk about that girl code. And I did a lot of thinking today. And I've come to the realization, men are not women's enemies. The enemy, men. The enemy is other women. The other women who choose to soft sort reality. You want men to hold other men accountable.
Oh my God, clear.
You want men to
sorry. Go ahead. We can read that in each other. But that's the point, Clear. Self-love. Watch that episode Tuesday again and see.
Let me read that. Condoms are one level, but self-love, that is what is missing. Teaching girls to save themselves for their first experience until they are in their late teens is not taught as a viable means of birth control, plain old virginity. Yes, Claire, and that is, when you really drill down, that is all Ramel was talking about. When you drill down, you need, and Dion made the comment. I don't know if Dion is in here tonight, but I screenshot that because I thought that I needed to be highlighted tonight, and I want to put that on screen. She made the comment. Send it to you, Neil. But yeah, back to my point. women who, yes, Jennifer, that is the term, gaslight other women. Gaslight and gas up, right? Because you're putting a battery pack in women's backs to encourage them to do things that you yourself know within yourself you don't want for you. That is the part that got me real baffled, right? And Neil touched on it earlier. I saw women, married women, who had their children under the coverage of marriage in the chat debating vigorously that, hey, this is a good decision. You know what I mean? Be on
Wait,
screen.
hold on a minute. Hey, soon there.
And that's the part that had me like real confused. And that's why it came to the nation. We don't want. Yeah, let me read this comment from Dion. Dion says the language triggers, but to me, if as a female I value my sexuality, as in I'm not giving it away. If I value my brain, my body, etc., then it has to be an asset. So I don't find it triggering. But I'm a math brain. That's Dion's comment from Tuesday night, right? Or one up. And we gotta get real. Let me say back in the chat a little bit because I saw some people tuning in. Kevin Seeley's Kate said if you have a boyfriend, he's behaving like a child, a spoiled brat. What are you supposed to tell him he's behaving like? Are you supposed to say you're not behaving right? What does that mean to the man you telling this to? Right? Kevin Toya says, we're supposed to be gentle and nice to the men. Men like gentle women. That's a fact.
Claire, I see Claire feel like he's stressing out. Yes, he's stressing out because, as I said at the top of the program, right? I don't like people painting me with a brush that ain't me, man. I as a man, I take accountability for my actions. If I know I'm being a jerk or an asshole, I own up to that and say, you know what, I'm being a jerk or an asshole. I ain't started this podcast for all of this to be called we being an old boys club, we pelting rocks and we being disingenuous. Like I ain't that ain't me clear. So I got stressed out because at the end of the day, when people read comments, because it's easier to read a comment than it is to watch 2 hours of a podcast. When you read the comment and you go by saying that we in here trying to condone sexual assault culture and victim shaming, right? That's a problem for me. Because in nowhere in any of this have any of us condoned that. So I ain't about it. I got stress. That's my name.
Randy Ford, shout out my neighbor, Randy. Randy says, hey, people just a bit too sensitive. If you guys offer a podcast for open-minded opinions and set rules for how the podcast runs, persons should not be offended. Honestly, after hearing news rant, I sorry didn't log on Tuesday. If it is that guy, the guy Ramel made his point, so be it. Yeah, you may not like the way it was said. It was his opinion. That's just my piece. I know it, Randy. Randy's a man of talk. Randy's a man of talk very straight. I mean, very straight. So yeah, you would appreciate Ramel.
Right. Before you continue there, this is Tanya. Yeah, but Neil, is it necessary to say that they're foolish when they know the background? When we know the background of how our women are raised, I say my issues delivery or tone, and that's fine. You see, at the end of the day, shoot, there and we ain't gonna lie when the man call the women jackasses and foolish. We was like, whoa, okay, but
and that laughter was misinterpreted as jeering, and then we cool with her, and
the laughter was
whoa.
We was like, cause early in the day we say we can get this is gonna be the last show. So when the man said that, I literally typed there and said, boy, we had to get a run, but this is the end of this. That is where the laughter came from. And why we didn't check him is because I would rather the man bring over his point in his way. Because I don't want to get into, man, Ramel, you shouldn't say that and this. He said, no, man, I gotta talk. Because he's gonna still tell me and check me to tell me he gotta talk straight. So let him talk. And I would hope that people will understand that that is Romel's opinion and how he brings over things. And while we have said the same things, we are not delivering the tone in that manner.
But here's the thing, Neil. It matters not. I discovered that. It matters not. We always hear, you got agency over your parts. My body, my choice. People are, and I love that line, by the way, that women have agency over their parts. I can't remember who it is that said it, but big them up. Because you're right. Having said that, gentlemen, gentlemen, let me look you full of your face here, no gentlemen. You are free. Women don't owe you anything. You don't owe them anything either. Yeah? Remember that. Shout out O'Shea Duke Jackson. You don't owe them anything either. So, if you come across these situations that you are not in favor of, don't try to kind of like cuddle here and soft soap here and let me see if I can make this work for me. If you're uncomfortable with it, roll. Because if you see what's going on here, me and Neil say it soft, they don't like it. Ramel say it hard, they don't like it. It don't make no difference. It don't make no difference. Sorry, I forget we got viewers from across the world. It doesn't make any difference. The tone which is used.
Don't matter. Does not matter.
Because some women, because I saw a comment Claire made when she says honor men. Yes, I saw you, Claire. Some women or honor women, to use a Claireism.
Claireism, I love it.
Want to do what I want to do. And as such, if that's how we can go down, again, I don't make the rules, I just make sure you know what they are. So once we know the rules, fellas, we can operate to suit. I told a friend of mine that today. She said I come over as very cold and almost callous. Neil apparently is a bit more emotional, she says, and a little bit more, I don't even know what's the right word to use. But I said, hey, we know where it is though. As emotional as he is, and as stoic as I am, we know where it is. And therefore, ipso facto, for the law people in the audience, ipso facto, we can operate accordingly. Right? So, if we don't argue against marriage and family,
All right then.
let me say that again, because I didn't even sit work with me, and I ain't the boy don't daily dig the marriage thing. But let me say that again. If you want to argue against marriage and family, that's your right. If you want to encourage your sisters to live the best life and do what they want,
You just brought up a very good point there. Yo.
But anyway, before you come there, let me get back in the comments a little bit, because I see my boy DeVere Whitehall in the house, showed up DeVere George.
Uncle George, boy.
But these are conversations we have to have with our sons. One, understanding their self-worth. Two, self-love. These are the conversations I have with my sons from now on. And yeah, they can't come home with any type of woman. Yeah, for too long, we have been made to believe that we as men need to kind of handle it, work it out. And we can do a podcast about handling, because that's the thing you say, you can't really handle women, these strong, independent black women. We can do a podcast with that. We've been made to feel that we need to be Mr. Fix It. You know what I mean? So ladies want the 3-6-6, they call it. 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 abs.
6 inches.
And 6 inches. Well, one woman says she wants 7. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, right? We've been made to feel that we are supposed to be, we got to have all these things. And when you got them 6 plus inches, you got to be able to work it like a porn star.
You can't just kind of bring it.
Yeah. You got to be able to know how to use it. You got your head game strong. Shout out the old man. The old man told me if you're failing lower court, you got the high court. But shoot, you got lower and high court working. Yeah, you still got to be a family man. You got to be this, you got to be that, because that is what you have to bring to the table. And we as men are being told, hey, however the women come, you got to accept it.
Flaws and all.
That's a Beyonce song, isn't it?
Although it's not in the context we were talking, but yeah.
Yeah. Flaws and all. Fellas, understand what it is we are being presented. Right? And operate accordingly. Yeah, Justin says, didn't Ramel state that it was important to value yourself and your body more? Don't give away your body for nothing. Kevin Taylor, Sarman in the house. You shouldn't stress yourself out, Neil, but the objective of the podcast is to talk about issues. Some feedback will be good and others will be critical. We get a lot of the critical,
But
Simon.
again, I got a problem with the good and the bad. I want the pushback. I welcome the pushback, but don't come and impugn my character by making it seem that we on here just not doing what we should be doing. Those who know me know is get very passionate when again. If I am a host, call me a host. But I can't be a man and you call me a host and I abide by that. There is a man that get calls or certain things and there is just take it in straight. I am that kind of person. If you want a response on me, I can't hide it. I am the emotional one. He is the stoic one. So do not come and make it seem that Neil Hoyt running a podcast in here. He co-hosting a podcast where we out to bash with me. That ain't me.
Some people were offset by the laughter, it seems.
Yeah, that's
Claire says it ran her. For her to hear that she's a hit dog. And that's the thing, Claire, in the whole thing, you are not the hit dog.
But what got me right?
You are not the
Whom
hit
the
dog.
cat fit lets it weary. With this monkey, the higher monkey claim he show your ass. What?
This cat too small for you, Claire.
But the thing is, we have so many colloquialisms, right? Where people are likened to animals. We ain't got no problem with it. But because we're talking about women in that particular podcast, and because we said the word dog, a hit dog this holler. But
take a pen, Neil. Please consider that men have been called dogs for millennia. But carry on.
That makes no enough. Right?
Carry
Fair
on.
enough. But the point is, right, is that all that happens, we talk about women and we use the term hit dog this holler. No point. Y'all never hear about a hit dog, only a hit dog this holler. This
also let's provide some context as well, Neil. He did give a disclaimer before using the expression. But let's go on. Let's go on. Salman is encouraging me to use my Bayesian. I will continue to do that. Because I don't agree, that doesn't mean I'm one of those women. I just don't like the rough words either way. Tony says. Salman said the rules don't favor everyone. Yes, and that's the point. The rules don't favor everyone, right? There are some rules that are going to benefit you as a man. There's some rules that are going to benefit women. Yeah? You need to know what they are so that you get it, so that you know how to operate. The old people that say the hardest thing is to know. Sorry, for my international viewers. The old people would say the hardest thing is to know. Once you know, you can operate accordingly. For example, I saw a meme that went around a few weeks ago. It had, it says, a man who doesn't pay who can't support his children ends up in prison. A woman who can't support her children ends up in welfare. Ends up on welfare. Ain't balancing that equation. But again, we can get the equality and equity and all that stuff, but that's another story for another time. Waden in the house. I left Waden in the studio. I hope it went well, Waden. Well, I heard it was going well. He said, generally, people who focus on tone would have decided that they have no intention to understand the point being made before any words were spoken. I find. Boy, fact on fact. That's what it's coming over as. Anytime you have to handle a woman, she's not for you. Straight. Tanya, and what you guys say week after week makes it different. I learned a lot. But the laughter way he said rough words about these women did bother me because we were laughing because we too were a little like
consider it nervous laughter because and you know our personal chat on WhatsApp, we literally was typing back and forth like, oh Lord Jesus, this is it. This is the last show because this man.
Shoot, and as a matter of fact, there were guys in the chat who messaged me and said, yo, where gonna get this man from?
This is it.
One of my colleagues, my guy Papa Ray is like, yo, this man is right.
I ain't gonna lie when the man called women jackasses and these stupid women. I was like, oh my God. I literally typed to Derek, that is it. This is the point where we don't do another podcast, another episode. But it was not laughter at, oh, women stupid for true. No, Tonya, no. There was subtext there on a personal level with regards to the show.
Yeah. Sama says people will attack your character, especially when we talk about these types of topics. Yeah, I hear for it. Come and talk. We can talk. Yeah, because I don't intend to disrespect anybody. I don't think I've done that. I don't think Neil has done that. Um, yeah. So it is what it is. Tonya say we hollered as in objective. The idea is not the dog. You're implying that we are objecting because we identify. It is not true. Hence the
Go.
objection. What is not true?
But no. The hit dog hollering. Because we were saying that, is whom the cat fits. But what she's saying is that it wasn't necessarily that they were likened to dogs, is that people who were not in these old situations were hollering. But my point to you is, Tonya,
But what you're hollering?
you're hollering. You're hollering at the delivery, not necessarily what the man saying. Because what the man saying ain't nothing wrong with that. Because watch, and this is what I wanted to say earlier when Derek was making his comments, is that we talking all around the bush about if we child this and if we child that, men this and men that. Women, you got a girlfriend, right? Your girlfriend got 2 children from 2 different men, and both the men in their children's lives, right? They were, whatever is the circumstance, regardless of if the condom break, if the contraceptives fail, if they had planned to marry and have children, whatever the circumstances are. The point is, this third man comes around and is saying, I would like to impregnate you. What would you tell that woman? Live your best life? Gonna have a child for this man? What you gonna tell the man? You gonna tell the woman, be discerning. And that's the whole point of it. So the whole point of saying that hit dog, just holler, right? And you're all saying, even though y'all were not in the situation, you're all hollering, meaning that y'all objecting to what was said. That I don't even think y'all were hollering because of that, because y'all disagree with what he's saying.
Sister code, Neil.
Because I challenge you. I challenge you.
And let me protect our sister, whether she do it
or
foolishness or not.
I challenge the women in this chat and whomever had issue with what was said on Tuesday and Ramel, specifically what he said, right? Not how he said it, what he said. If you have a problem, tell me what problems you have with what he said. Not how he said it, no. Because we've explained, we've taken the entire program, the entire podcast to kind of clarify everything that's going on and to show our displeasure and our frustration with what's going on, right? But know that everything crystal clear now, I hope. Watch over the episode or even try to remember what Ramel said. Ramel talking junk? You talking lies? You talking no detail? They only had that one instant where he come with some, so he said something and he didn't have any empirical data or whatever. And I said, well, we don't.
And he
right.
said that.
But you know what? It don't matter clear how many women here. It don't matter. If it's you and Tonya, talk the things. The man talk junk or not? Did the man talk foolishness? If you had a girlfriend that had 3 children from 3 different men, regardless of the situation, and she is telling you about a 4th man that she wants to carry a child for, then what? What are you going to tell the woman? Watch it now. We can only offer advice.
I see you, Laura.
But Laura...
It was Laura that said, right, let me remember. It was Laura that gave the same response when she was asked, would you advise your child to take up that deal? Well, I was like, the offer response.
So what did Ramel do? What was Ramel doing? What are we doing? We offering advice, right? We ain't offering advice. Y'all really take Ramel. You think Ramel is so powerful that all of a sudden he could tell one of women what to do? You not telling one of women what to do, or that's advice? I legitimately am baffled at how somebody can come down and say that you would offer advice to that person, but a man get in a post and in a podcast and offer that advice. The man is seen as this and that. We in an old boys club and this and that. Why you know? I know. So your advice better than our advice? If you're all not holding your women accountable, and we men can't hold women accountable, then what we supposed to do? We holding men accountable, y'all holding men accountable, society holding men accountable, but no one holds women accountable. Men can't, women don't. So then what? What? We have one faction that is left unchecked and can do as they feel like, and another one that is being told they have to watch what they say, what they do, when they do it, how they do it. Then what? What are we doing?
Vaden says the rules can never favor everyone because some things simply don't apply. Equality is about equal opportunity, not equal outcome. Men and women are different, hence the rules of life for a man and a woman would naturally be different. Or so we would like to think, Vaden. And I think that is where I was having a conversation with somebody last week. As a matter of fact, over this very post from Ramel, I think the issue is a lot of times where things get lost in translation is that we expect men and women to relate the same way. And that's just not gonna happen.
Because we are not the same.
We're not the same. And again, and I really came to this realization today, and I think I'm starting to believe it really firmly that women don't want to hear, as Neil said, they don't want to hear what we have to say. And I've said it before here, but I think it really came home to me for the past couple of days. Because we say it nicely, Ramel said it straight and directly, it matters not. You take umbrage with the tone. Yeah? But we say the same things.
The same things. And this is actually going.
We say the same
This is actually good.
As a matter of fact, Ramel says more than I do because Ramel about marriage, not me so much. You know what I mean? And yet and still. So when it's, and we've said it, you gotta check your girlfriends because you don't want to hear men tell you anything.
Men can't tell y'all anything about your bodies, about your relationships, about how you rear children. We can't do it. Y'all just tell us to check men and how they treat children and how they should rear their children and how they should treat women and be in relationships, right? Y'all just tell us that. But whenever we do it, hard or soft, we just get ostracized for it. We just get called up for it. We just get canceled for it. So if we can't do it and you all can't do it, then what? Not that you can't, that you won't do it. Because now I'm saying, Laura's saying, well, I can't tell somebody who to marry. I can't tell somebody who to breed.
But she's right.
You can't. But you could at least put the thought in her to say, well, sweetheart, slow down, though.
And here's the real thing. After you gas up your girlfriend, how are you going to then look at her? How are you going to view her? Are you going to say to yourself, Jennifer saying women don't listen either, them need to look in the mirror. Yeah. How are you going to view your friend? When you know that your friend has made some bad decisions, would you prefer for us to come here, or for Ramel, for example, to come and say, hey, this isn't the best decision for your life? Or do you choose the other way? You kind of say, you go, girl, and you get together and you kind of support it and everybody go forward together. But when it's time for the reckoning, there's certain things you will not include that girlfriend.
Then the girlfriend with the 4 children from 4 fathers can't ask you for money because she can't afford formula for the 4th child.
What you can do? You can give she the money, but you can say, tell you husband, look, she gonna get all these children and not one of the fathers can't help. You know what I mean? But instead, if we choose to get offended because my mom said rough, showed up Ramel Miller in the house. My mom said rough, we choose to get vexed, we choose to get offended. And we miss everything
That he says.
That he was saying.
Granted, we have said it soft, and people say, oh, I only watch 20 minutes, and one of this, that, the next, the third. And we just thought, listen, if call watch, I know when this first started, they used to call me rough. And the thing is, I got to talk the things, man. We have changed so many things on this podcast just to make sure that everything is not offensive across the board. From how Derek, do you know early on, Derek used to post his Facebook posts, right? People get up in arms. They say, well, Derek, let me try something, instead of leading the conversation or coming over from a skewed point of view and trying to have language that's incendiary or questions that are incendiary, check how you word your questions, Derek. So no problem, I'll do it. Right? We made sure how we speak on this podcast every week is not going to run us in hot water as individuals and as men, as people that are trying to get far in this podcasting. We have changed so many things with how we deliver the message, the content, the questions, everything, the posts, the memes, everything we have changed to make sure we don't really highly offend most people. Yet still, y'all just get offended. And yet still, Ramel just come and he rough. Cause we was rough. But then want to see a real rough man. A man that is not beholden on to anything. A man he has autonomy on himself. He ain't caring about the podcast. He ain't caring nothing about. He got his wife. He got his children. And he happy.
He good.
So as far as he concerned, we could get around, burn the bridges. They could burn his Facebook and get his cancer. The point is, Ramel good. Me and Dad out here putting ourselves out here every Tuesday and Thursday, putting my business out in the streets, as the people that say in the streets, right? The streets, for those think that I may have a speech impediment. But the point is that we put ourselves out here and we tailor everything we say, even in real time. And we still get called all sorts of things. My man Ramel come in, guns a blazing, he get called out. So then,
But I don't even think Rommel coming guns blazing. Rommel just came and stated his points. He just came and stated his points. Tanya is saying there's no girl code, but sometimes they just don't want to hear.
Don't want taking the learning.
Salman says the issues run deep. You have to look at how that person was raised and what other factors have caused someone to be at a particular point in their life. You know, I had a principal, right? Show Jennifer Hoyt. Jennifer Hoyt used to say, you know, Marshall, you have to meet people where they are. Meet people where they are. That was her thing, right? The other part that Jennifer Hoyt started to come into later, just before she retired, was you have to meet people where they are. And Marshall, sometimes you have to leave them there. So I come along and I see you as a woman. You may look good and all, but if you got some things in your situation that ain't working for me, I will keep it trucking. Because here's the thing. If I step to a woman and there are certain things about me that she ain't rocking with, she can keep
And
it
that's
trucking.
her right.
And that is her right. But we cannot be encouraging people to be best versions of themselves and then expect them to accept mediocrity in a partner. That just does not compute. Because when I'm trying to level up, or I'm trying to move forward, I can't do that if I have a partner who is not willing or able to level up too.
Being discerning, making good choices for yourself and your body. You doing that for yourself, and your partner out here willy-nilly doing it as a feel like. Like,
I see Renee showed up Renzi in the house. Renzi says, yes, Kevin, the issues can run really deep. It is not that the person is foolish. They could be victims of a number of circumstances in their life. Agreed. But we ain't talking about victims. My guy Larry, right? Larry Monster says all the time, victimhood is the currency, right? I really want us to stop throwing around that word victimhood so loosely, right? Because trust me, the girls that deciding they're going to have 6, 7, 8 children, because yes, there are women who have that many children in Barbados in 2021, those women have not been victims of anything except licking penis. Nobody took advantage of them. They are not a victim. While we have victims, I don't want us to start assuming that everybody who is in a disadvantaged position has been a victim of some wrongdoing.
yeah,
We need to get away from that.
like you can't be of a logical, sound mind, in a right mind, and be taken advantage of and be a victim 6, 7 times in a row. Like, I mean, do you know how unlucky you would have to be? Do you know and understand the bad luck you have, where 6 and 7 times, 4 times, 4 men lied to you, take advantage of you, sexually assaulted you?
Stick a pin. No, you don't get me wrong. I can see how 4 times a man will lie to you. I can see that happening.
Fair.
Yeah. We know they got some dogs out there. We
for
know
sure.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And men lying to you, not really and truly ain't far-fetched. Having said that, right? Then they're all falling in love. Yeah.
I know you could go with this, but anyhow.
Yeah. Then they're all falling in love. Having said that, shoot, believe it or not, folks, I've been in love before. Yeah, I've been in love before. I know what it's
For
like.
that brief half hour.
Shoot, I've gone the marriage route and everything. I've been in love before, right? Shout out the ex-wife. But, you know, shout out the ex-wife for the marriage route. But anyway, we can go for it, right? We can go for it. Having said that, and let me talk my business a little bit, right? I was married. And please understand what I'm telling you. I was married, right? My ex-wife and I never had unprotected sex. Never. And here's the real kicker. She was also on birth control. So this woman was making sure, we married her, but she did not want
whose decision was it?
Hers. I really had a choice in that, right? But she was saying, she was adamant she did not want a child at that point. So she took the necessary steps. And she was not, what would be the right word to use? She was not an unwilling participant. She was not just wallpaper, a fly on the wall. She actively took steps to ensure that she would get a specific result. She took Sam, man, they didn't get that opportunity. They didn't, man. But yeah, she took those steps, right, to ensure that certain things would or would not happen. There are, and Ramel is saying my ex-wife was an intelligent woman. Very much so, right? I'll leave that there. Very much so. But yeah, she took the necessary steps to ensure she would get specific outcomes, right? And I mean, sure, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? We need to stop trying to have this Kadir mentality and kind of absolving people of their responsibilities when they get these bad results. You know what I mean? Own your shit. Yeah? Own your shit. You know I don't cast on this
So you gotta be grim.
But own your shit. I saw somebody say that accountability is a kryptonite to a woman. Yeah? Be accountable. If you make good decisions and you get good results, shoot, you can get all the credit for that, all the praise for that. Yeah? However, on the flip side, conversely, if you make bad decisions, guess who got to accept the results and the praise, adulation, credit for the bad results? It can't be nobody else but you, Dred.
But
Because guess what? If you back a man, right, that, show he's he's a CFO at somebody company and he making how much thousands a year or whatever, and you decide, you know what, I can lock down this man, this is my man. He met you a wife or when in a long-term relationship and he eventually met you a wife, you get pregnant for that man, the sister could go jump up and say, yay, well done. Having said that, no. If you go and you deal with a van man, shout out the van man in the house. If you go and you deal with a van man and he knocked you up, he never showed any kind of inclination, any willingness to tell you come and take a walk. I guess to borrow a line for my man. All he want to carry you is grocery shopping, but he ain't carry you ring shopping.
in Wadi Lima.
Not even a Tropicana or Wadi Lima. All he want to do is come by and beat up your belly for the night and go along. Next thing you know, you pop up pregnant. The man tell you, well, I already signed up for this here and roll out. Wait.
Yes, the man is a
Sure.
dog. Yes, he's made his decisions. Yes, he is no good. Yes, he should be held accountable. But you know what?
But if you know that you're dealing with a man that's taking a percentage of the 350, he's taking a cut off every 350. You know this. You know this is his minimum wage. You know he can't provide the life for you that you would want for you and your children. Why? Well, why you looking at it at all? If you find money really and you flip, but you might look good, all right. Let me see you look good and you look that. All right, cool. You can lay down with you, can have a little fun. I ain't saying not. Why do you have to get pregnant?
Double bag it. Corners is bread.
Shoot. Use
you know,
condoms,
all
right?
bro.
Let me say you don't use the condoms. Shoot, don't let the ex-wife get a pill.
No, you can't do that, Derek, because that affects hormones and stuff like that. Some women are, cool. They got the morning after pill. No, you can't use the morning after pill because then some women are also, go down with that. Can't get an abortion because that's a very hard thing on a woman's body and everything like that. You can put the child up for adoption. Nobody want to do that. So now you bring the baby to term. But no, the man ain't showing up. The man ain't about it. You vex with the world. You vex with men.
So you said, man, no, Derek, don't blanket that. I agree, not everyone is, but a lot are. I know women who refuse to use protection because men would leave them. This is crazy, right? Okay. Stop. Let me start right there. Ladies, Jennifer is that kind of thing.
Oh, dear. No is the time they're getting hype.
It is, if you choose to lay down with a man, right, that can tell you he refuses to use protection because he will leave or he don't like that or whatever. Trust me, ladies. Men, we've said it before on this show. Men will sleep up, down, crossway. Ain't that hard to get someone else to come sleep with you? So if you just want it scratch, you could call. I am certain the women in here got somebody in the wings hovering, waiting.
Me.
So if a man can tell you something like that he can left if he gonna use protection, then he would
let him go ahead. What you would rather? You'd rather keep a man, a child, and drama and stress and court and bad blood and all sorts of things.
If you tell a man that you don't want children, or if you tell a man you want to use protection, and the man tell you, well, I already bought that, but I immediately tell you, this man don't respect you, you wish nor you wish.
Why is a man and women just call access to sex? You know how many times a woman tell me, oh, I like your raw feeling, condoms is give me this and that next. Can we just stick it in? No.
So, nah, man. So, okay, it goes on. But these women are so mentally scared and looking for love that they risk it. Yes, it is not rational, but that is years of deep, deep mental conditioning. A lot of women out there lack fathers who are desperate for love. That is why I say I don't agree with Ramel about marriage and the importance of home and family, but I refuse to say that these women are stupid. It is all they know and understand.
So now, what we supposed to do, right, Tonya? Like, we understand the system is flawed. Men are not taking accountability for their responsibilities. A lot of women, for whatever reason, whether it be the man, the woman, whatever, are raising children by themselves. The lack of fathers, meaning that people have trauma. No, we got trauma. No, we get in a relationship, we frightened for a man to left me, so we can do whatever it takes to keep that man. The man leaves, pregnant. Man is checking for you. You've repeated the cycle. Whose fault is that? You can blame your mother, your father. You can blame the man that leave. Or you can take...
Here's the thing, Neil. Here's the thing. I remember a few weeks ago, we were talking about dating and stuff like that. And the ladies told you point blank, you got to change your dating. My memory ain't the best, right? My memory ain't the best, but I remember certain things, right? Tanya is imploring me to read her
Comment correctly.
correctly. So let me backtrack and read it again. Don't blanket that. I agree, not everyone is, but a lot are. I know women who refuse to use protection because men would leave them. This is crazy, right? But these women are so mentally scarred and looking for love that they risk it. Yes, it is not rational, but that is years of deep, deep mental conditioning. A lot of women out there lack fathers and are desperate for love. That is why I say I don't disagree with Ramel about marriage and the importance of the home and family, but I refuse to say that these women are stupid. It is all they know and understand.
And she goes on to say these people aren't thinking like us. She says in a follow-up comment.
Okay.
So then what do we do? So then what? The people that are not thinking like us, what do? Do we just cater to the echo chamber in here? Do we how help us, people? We ask you to bring your friends. We know that everybody don't think like how we think. We know I say every week, I don't want to create an echo chamber. I want people outside of our communities to come and watch the podcast. Good, bad, and indifferent there, and I have committed to this. And come hell or high water, we can take whatever flat comes, right? So then what? Tony is saying we need to start from small at school. So then the problem is what? Schools? No, the problem is family. We right back where it is. Because school ain't got nothing to do with raising a child. Sorry. Check that.
Yeah,
School is not the priority or not the number one place for raising a child. It starts at home.
First socialization agent.
But now our homes are fractured. Yes, we can point to the trauma of before, but we got to normalize certain things like seeking healing and therapy for past trauma. We need to start doing things like putting money into, well, the welfare and education of people about. I know a friend. I have a friend of mine, good friend of mine. She lives overseas. She has a doctorate in doing community work where she educates people on sex and the consequences of sex, whether it be STD, pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, etc. Right? And to hear her tell me some things, she tells me herself it starts at home. People are low income. People don't know how to do. People raised in fractured homes. People perpetuate stereotypes. People do all sorts of things and are not raising children properly. And what do broken children from broken homes grow up to be? Broken adults. And the cycle continues. There and I can only do so much. There and I can't go out there and start. We could appeal to Parliament, to the government, to do more when it comes to educating people. But we started this podcast to deal with the adults. We can only do so much. And yes, we can talk from a space of utopia where we fix the homes, we fix the adults or whatever, but we got to break the cycle somewhere though.
And we got to deal with what
we have to deal
and what is right in front of us.
So like, I understand what you're saying, Tony, and I agree to a point where the family is the problem. The family unit is a problem. We have too many children growing up in single parent households without the balance of a mother and father, and they're being thrown out of whack. There are parents out there that are not paying attention to what they say and do around their children to perpetuate certain stereotypes that harm children in becoming adults to make them toxic. We got a lot of problems in the family unit though. It is both men's fault and women's fault. We holding the men accountable. Society is holding men accountable.
Yeah, because we can deal with Nick Cannon.
That was the whole point of this episode, was to hold Nick Cannon and men like Nick Cannon accountable. Yeah, and we was gonna blast the men. But no, we got to address this. So you know what Nick Cannon today for? When I get me raw and wriggling. You understand? And the point is that I understand, Tony, what you say about families. I understand what you say about reform at the genesis of all of this. But you know what? We still have to call out toxic behaviors to the broken adults. That is what we are here doing. Men, be the best version of you for you. Stay on mission. Stay on track. Value yourselves. You are not indispensable. Women, you have a lot more power. Ramel said it. You have a lot more power than you really believe, you know. Your body is so powerful, and the growing ability of a child and the nurturing capability throughout your life for a child and for people is beyond measure. Ramel said it. Ramel said it. Tuesday. Ma said in the post. Cheers, files. Right? Value yourselves, women. Value who you sleep with. Value how the man should be. Well, I don't want to say shoot, but value how a man comes in you, ejaculates in you. Value your body. Yeah? Understand what it means to carry a child. Understand the consequences that come from having sexual intercourse willingly, regardless of condom, contraceptive, whatever. Be the best version of you for you, men and women. Having multiple children from multiple partners is not being the best version of you for you. Is not being the best version of is not being the best for your child. I don't care what nobody tell me. That is not the desired outcome. Nobody wants to have multiple children from multiple fathers. I am a man. You think my son is 5. You think I only know one child? You feel 5 years ago, you wake up one morning and say, yeah, I'm ready for children? I could have had a child back in my 20s though. I could have had a child as early as 19. I remember I had a scare I was at BCC. I had a scare at 17, 18. My then girlfriend tell me, yeah boy, she's period late, she might be pregnant. And I sweat bullets, fall out the bus and all sorts of things, coming home, cry, got anxiety, all sorts of things, cause I like, this woman gonna be pregnant. And I really ain't sure if I want to marry this woman. I really ain't sure whether. I really ain't sure. I ain't got a job. I ain't got to educate. You know what I mean? 18 years old.
But choices.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. She ended up not being pregnant. Her period came. It just came late. We didn't have to make any tough decisions or choices. Fine, so be it. But the point I'm trying to make is that since then, I have been very discerning. My friends is joke. There and my boys is joke and tell me I am the spokesperson for G-Rex. The men just make jokes and say raw is law. You know, you got to shoot beer with no fear. And there's a man, not me. Because I use it direct straight through. I use it condoms straight through. Any woman, you could ask any woman I've ever slept with. Anytime we get into a little entanglement, we's getting a little sexy feelings, sexy time, right? And we realize, they get into a point, I on the condoms. The action done though, there will be no penetrating of nothing tonight. That is, I don't know what to tell you. And that is me taking responsibility for not putting myself in a situation of having a child with somebody that I don't want to have a child with. When I tell you my son was planned and the woman I chose and the woman that chose me was all planned, one of you guys be joking, right? And more people should think like that. More men and more women should think like that.
No, Neil,
don't let 10 seconds make you idiot.
We don't need because somebody, I think Romel said on Tuesday that we need a standard, and somebody questioned the way we would.
Oh my God, Jesus in heaven above. I'm glad you bring that up, Derek. Thank you, because I had that in my notes. But go ahead.
Yeah, somebody questioned why we would need. We need a standard so that we ain't just. At some point, we need to say, you know what, this is good, this is not. But we've reached the point where we are cool with everybody saying, yeah, man.
But Derek was the law.
As Baza Yard said years ago, do what you feel like. We cool with that.
What is a curriculum?
The work that the people talking about.
Right.
School.
And that's a standard set by someone, right?
Yeah.
What is the law?
But
the law is a standard set by a group of people. Don't murder, don't kill, do right by one another. There is a standard.
Okay. But Neil, let me provide a bit of clarity for you, because again, in this whole relationship thing, I am starting to recognize that people don't want relationships to be that serious. Right? People don't want relationships to be that serious. Again, when I drew the comparison last week or week before that, you can't talk to your boss a certain way. Why do you think you could talk to your boyfriend or your girlfriend a certain way at home? People start talking about, oh, well, you're going to get paid at home, etc. and all that there. So apparently my comparison was, weak, right? People just want to do what they want to do, you know, Neil. I think we need to come to that
But
realization.
brother, there's nothing wrong in doing what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't act like you could do whatever you want to do. It goes to shit. And you could point the finger at everybody else but yourself.
It goes both ways too, huh? When you can do what you want to do, please remember the other person can do what they want to do too. Right? Claire saying that the Ministry of Education just hired 7 primary school counselors. But for them, that's the first step for those who don't have exposure to healthy home environments. Here's the Claire, I don't know how affiliated you are with the primary school system, but there are 90 primary schools, and I suspect that those 7 primary school counselors will be inundated with work and be unable to deal with all of them, the cases presented to them efficiently. That's just my view of it, right? Branham is saying school is for school. When we put all these things in school, there will be no time or place for actual school or schoolwork. Facts. And yeah, Branham works with me. We see it every day. Well, she see it every day because she's dealing with some, children out there. Yeah. Jennifer said it comes down to both men and women taking account for their own actions. Yeah. And here's the thing. Y'all women keeping us men in check. Yeah, we expect that. Who is keeping the women in check?
Hard or soft?
Who's keeping the
Just
women
keep
in
me in
check?
check, hard or soft, Derek.
Yeah, Tonya say if we don't make time for it and leave it to the parents who don't understand or care, we will continue to slide down this slope. Yes. Claire says young girls do not see themselves as precious beings, and they are not in environments where they are told they are precious. So although the family is a place we would want that to happen, it isn't happening there. We need to infiltrate their spaces. And how do we infiltrate their spaces, Claire? How? The conversation need the counselor ain't changing nothing. Sorry. Ooh. But that just came out. But I'll leave it where it is. The counselor ain't
Yeah,
changing
that's
nothing.
it there.
No counselor ain't changing nothing. Because guess what? Y'all said earlier in the podcast, y'all could only advise. You could only talk.
The work gotta be on you. For anybody that has ever done therapy, therapists don't come and help you, He just help you to realize for yourself. They lead you to conclusions for you to do the work yourself. Shoot, therapists is getting homework.
I see it every year, right? And Brandon could bear me out. Every year, there are some children who pass through our hands, right? And they get to class 4 because of our setup at school. We already see them in class 4 because shoot, it's exam time. And then those same children who were lambs at school, they end up, we see them in the court section a couple of years down the road, a lot of them in 20 yet. And we can't believe that some of these children, we had a student late last year, I think it was, or earlier this year, beat his mother because she didn't give him weed money. We get up for the international viewers. He beat his mother because she would not give him money to purchase weed.
Marijuana,
sorry. Right?
Initiated.
Reefer. He beat his own mother because she would not give him money to purchase.
And this is at what level of education?
And he is secondary school, just finished secondary school. So as much as we talking and it's a good effort, we could try, but we know how that will work because we instill these things at primary school level, but then when they leave primary school, when they graduate, when they come to graduation, and they come into the graduation ceremony, and you see all the fancy hairstyles and all that there, and every year the principal saying, this is the time you gotta hold them closer. Now this is the time the parents let them go.
God, them is men, and women know.
There's men and women know. So
and from as young as 16 too. Don't get there as you leave school. He's a man now. He's a woman now.
Vaden says the school talk I both agree and disagree with. I ain't left that alone. Well, my time at school had a bigger impact on my current personality than my parents, if I'm honest. Home built the foundation, which was good, but the structure I thought was built in school. Took a couple of years to break that down and rebuild myself to be who I want to be. But the foundation was solid at home. Yeah. Yeah. Granum talking about her bunch of children alone. Right? And she's saying she got men in her class all now and she teaches a class 3.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, folks, I I like the fact that Granum is here because she does not speak to those children in no soft, pretty tone either. So I am certain she could relate to Ramel on Tuesday because that's how she had to talk to communicate with those children. Right? Direct. Because the soft, pretty thing in a class like that, she would get beat. But those children understand the pecking order in there. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we reached the 10 o'clock hour. We've been here
Let me just say before you go, Claire, I really wish we could get together for some drinks. I understand. Don't get me wrong, people. I am not necessarily angry at individuals here. I'm not angry. Yes, I read some of your comments in my vitriol earlier, right? In my monologue. But it's not like I am angry at Claire or angry at Tony or whatever. I am kind of angry at, or not disappointed, I guess, yeah, upset, frustrated because I feel as though the opportunity was taken out of context. And we just looked at the painting or the wrapping, but we didn't really look in the package. So, Claire, I have no problem. We really would like to have an in-person Senate session where we could, meet somewhere, have some drinks. Obviously, no, we can't do it. Madam Prime Minister has said that we got restrict and thing. But at some point, we are going to. No, I fair enough, Jennifer. Not apologize for my feeling, but you're right. But yeah, I would like us to, at some point, we got plans for this show. We have plans for this podcast, and they extend far beyond the confines of the internet. We do want to engage you some more. We do want to have more discussions. We want people to kind of buck our thought process and challenge us, but not challenge the rapping. Yeah. We do appreciate everything. This episode had to happen, man, because for us to move forward here, boys and girls, men and women, we need to understand, right? We said it months ago, it can be rough going on from here on in. Because we try to talk to one soft, we try to watch what we say, and we will always be respectful. People may come on the show, they will not be so respectful. We will try to check them as much as possible, but you know what? We cannot say that this is a space for men, a space where men can speak from their perspective. And then when a man comes and speak to you as a man, as some men will speak, we all of a sudden, yeah, boss, you can't really talk like that because, and I tried. But you see, Ramel looked like a man that I could talk till I blew in the face. Ramel can say what he gotta say, how he say it, when he say it. And as a man, I gotta respect that. That's how men work. We can only hope that y'all understand that while Ramel is delivering it very hard, he is saying the exact same things we say week in and week out. So you know what? I ain't gonna tell when this ain't gonna happen again because I could foresee it happening, especially as more we talk about more things and newer people come in. But yeah, open-mindedness is advice. Open-mindedness is advice. Yeah. So Claire, we can have some drinks, we can talk some foolishness, we can talk the issues. Derek, you could close out. Thank everybody for coming out. Thank everybody for enduring our rant, but it had to be done, and we will do it from time to time. So Derek, take us home.
Yeah, man. Everybody check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. But not Twitter, YouTube. Email us, send it in session. Those of you who are here or stay with us, we are happy that you were able to stay or had the courage, the gumption to come back. Some people said that they can't deal with it.
They're done with that.
They're done with that, and that's fine too. This is what we chose. We decided, hey, we're here for this. And as Neva tell we here for the violence. We're here for it. And everything will always be nice and wrap up nicely for you to be able to unpack it and deal with it how you want to deal with it. Some things can come down the chute fairly rough. And you gotta catch it, or you can let it drop, or let it hit you.
Either way, come in.
but it coming, you know. So those of you who were able to come back, we appreciate it. Invite some more people, let them come back and join us as well. Those of you who figured out that yeah, down with I am hearing there from them two sexist man, that's fine too. Unfortunate for you, but fine with us. Yeah, we be the best version for you, and we'll see you guys next week. We don't make the rules.
I was just about to say.
But we just let you know what they are. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. And we'll deal with Nick Cannon
All right.
then.
Peace and love, everybody. Be safe. Enjoy your weekend.
You see. Hey, yeah. So come wind back for me. I wanna see if we got good chemistry. And come wind up for me. Don't hold back, y'all. Just be free. I love how you dance and show off.